The bell's already been rung, and they've heard it. Out in the dark, among the stars. Ding dong, the god is dead.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Big surprise, Zack Snyder dropped a new teaser trailer for the Justice League Snyder Cut, so we'll break it down. There's a whole bunch of mythology that they're teasing here, so it's actually pretty cool. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We'll do a new Amazon giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave all your theories about the Snyder Cut on the video. Most important stuff first, if you didn't know, Zack Snyder will be doing a special Justice League Snyder Cut panel at the big Fandom event that's happening later this year. That's sort of DC's own separate Comic-Con that they're doing by themselves. It's going to be totally free, it'll be online, so everybody will be able to participate in some way. But the really cool thing about this footage is that it gives us a first look at Darkseid in the new cut of the movie, and he's very different in the version of the flashback scene that Wonder Woman has. If you can't tell what's being said during this scene either, it's Lex Luthor's voice whispering to her disembodied voice while she's staring at Darkseid's picture. He says, "The bell has been rung, and they've heard it. They know that God is dead." So obviously the God that they're talking about is Superman. They'd found out about his death during Batman v Superman. When he says they, he's talking about Darkseid and the forces of Apocalypse. And the way that Lex Luthor references Superman as God makes it sound like Superman was the reason Darkseid had not come for the mother boxes sooner. There was some footage from the theatrical cut where Steppenwolf's voiceover says, "No protectors, no Kryptonians, no lanterns, this world will fall." As if there were Kryptonians before Superman. I know there are a lot of theories about who that other Kryptonian was from the Man of Steel movie in the Kryptonian pod that had been opened. Zack Snyder always hinted that they would reveal that in future sequels, but we never really found out for sure. There were a lot of theories that that could be their version of Supergirl that would show up at some point, or it could be just another ancient Kryptonian when their race used to be explorers, as he gets that big backstory during the Man of Steel movie. I don't know if that implies that we'll actually see some Kryptonian added into this flashback Darkseid war scene, though. But as for the Green Lantern Corps, the Green Lanterns, we know who this Green Lantern was in the flashback scenes and what was going on with him, and we know what was going on in present day with Green Lantern Corps. I'll talk about them in a second, but the place where Wonder Woman is looks like it's either a Themysciran temple or an ancient Greek temple built by humans, because the language that she's reading here on it is written in ancient Greek. It would be from before she was born, though, otherwise she wouldn't be so surprised to see Darkseid's image in the text identifying him. I don't read Greek, so I can't tell you what the text on the left says. Someone who reads Greek can probably just add that in the comments, please. But you don't need to be able to read Greek to identify what the text on the right says. It says Darkseid in ancient Greek. The object in the center of the mural beneath him is what the three mother boxes look like when they're combined. The whole thing with the mother boxes in Zack Snyder's original version of the movie, when they were still doing multiple Justice League movies, is that before Darkseid became Darkseid, his name was Uxas. But Darkseid was born the son of Yuga Khan and Hegra, the king and queen of Apocalypse. He was the second in line for the throne behind his older brother. He killed him to obtain the Omega Force, which is where his Omega beams come from, as the name implies. It also turned him into this rock-like looking creature that you know as modern-day Darkseid. He took the Darkseid name, then in the Snyder Cut version, in that backstory, he traps the soul of his mother and her cosmic power, Hegra, in what they're calling the unity of these three mother boxes. Then uses that cosmic power to proceed to try and take over the rest of the universe. So when they talk about the unity during the movie, that's what he's talking about. Steppenwolf was still in the Snyder Cut, he still comes to Earth, but the reason why he came to Earth for the mother boxes originally is because the soul of his mother, also Hegra, which is Darkseid's mother too, is trapped inside the mother boxes. That's why Steppenwolf keeps referring to the mother boxes like they're alive, calling them mother, talking about setting her free.
I know, Mother. You've waited too long for the unity.
They didn't really clarify that in the theatrical cut, so it just seems kind of creepy that he's talking to the mother boxes like they're a person. He wants to free her and use her celestial power to defeat Darkseid himself and claim the throne of Apocalypse. It's sort of implied at the end of the movie that they have some sort of loose alliance and he's being taken back to Apocalypse through the boom tube. The ending of the Snyder Cut was a little bit different than the theatrical cut. There were a lot of big changes, but part of the ending of the movie was him being taken back to Darkseid to be killed by Darkseid, and Darkseid to sort of give a stare to the Justice League and let him know that he was coming for them. The scene of Lex Luthor in the Kryptonian ship is also added material from Batman v Superman when he's learning all this about Darkseid, Steppenwolf, the mother boxes, the secret history of Earth from the Kryptonian AI. This is what Steppenwolf looked like in the Snyder Cut. He was way more monstrous looking. That's all supposed to be happening right at the beginning of the Justice League movie. The task force shows up, arrests him, throws him in prison, and he spends pretty much all the first Justice League movie in that prison cell where you see Batman come to intimidate him at the end of Batman v Superman. But given this voiceover scene, it also sounds like the Lex Luthor story during the Snyder Cut is very different. He really only shows up in the post-credit scene in the theatrical version, but the voiceover makes it sound like it's happening pretty early in the movie, so it sounds like someone goes to see him and asks him questions about what was going on inside the Kryptonian ship, because he knows all this stuff now. The reason why Wonder Woman doesn't know all this history yet is because she wasn't born when this Darkseid war was happening. But then you have all these scenes with Wonder Woman inspecting the ruins with the Darkseid mural depicting the flashback scene. Then either she tells Batman this full story so that he knows what's going on, or they do the full flashback war scene here while she's staring at this mural. The way they cut the teaser trailer implies that the flashback scene happens while she's staring at Darkseid's picture, but that might just be the way they cut the trailer and not the way it actually happens during the movie. For the most part, the only major difference, I think, in the actual flashback scene with Darkseid fighting everyone is one, that Darkseid looks like this. He doesn't seem like he's fully become Darkseid yet. He doesn't seem like he has the Omega Force either, because that would be enough to kill every last one of the Greek gods, like Zeus, Ares, Hera, Artemis. All the Greek gods are in the theatrical cut of the flashback scene, so I'm assuming it's mostly the same for them in the Snyder Cut. The other big Lex Luthor change we just found out about in the Snyder Cut is actually the Deathstroke post-credit scene. Joe Manganiello tweeted out that they would be adding the original post-credit scene back in, like he was really hyped up, as if it was way, way better than the theatrical cut. My assumption without seeing more footage is just that there's a lot more nuance to this in the Snyder Cut. Like, they say that they're forming the Injustice Society, but the scene is longer, more fleshed out with more context and plot laying out how their story will continue in future Justice League sequels when they were still going to do multiple Justice League movies. I also think had the original plans for the DCEU movies played out the way that they wanted to, this Injustice League post-credit scene would have also been intended to set up a spin-off villain team-up movie for the Injustice Society. Maybe they would have called that movie Injustice, and it would have just been another Justice League sequel down the line, like Justice League 3 or 4 or whatever. And it would have just been the biggest DC villains and Lex Luthor teaming up against the Justice League, which by that time would have included Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. They would have also shown up by that second Justice League movie fully, and there was supposed to be some present-day Hal Jordan Green Lantern stuff happening in the Snyder Cut too, so hopefully they'll find a way to add him back in. I don't know if they cast an actor, it's hard to say because of so many changes that they made. If you remember the deleted scene of Superman showing up to talk to Alfred inside the Batcave, oh, you're just in time, that was originally supposed to be a Green Lantern Hal Jordan scene with him showing up. That's why in all the trailers when they showed this scene, you see a flash of green in his eyes. It's supposed to be Green Lantern shining, showing up. The whole idea with the Green Lantern Corps in the Justice League movies, just starting with the flashback scene, if you don't know who this one is in all the Darkseid War scenes, this is Yalan Gur. He's actually one of the ancient Green Lanterns of Space Sector 2814 where Earth is located. He was a Green Lantern about 2,000 years ago. Eventually, he wound up dying, and his body, his force, became part of the Starheart, which then went on to power the Alan Scott Green Lantern. So they kind of do a version of setting up an Alan Scott Green Lantern. Maybe at some point in the DCEU, they had planned to do a Justice Society movie. So just a reminder that the DC Fandom event is happening at the end of August. They're going to be dropping trailers for a lot of the upcoming movies and at least some concept teasers and art for the upcoming movies that they have not started filming yet. The Rock also separately dropped a Comic-Con teaser for the Black Adam panel and Shazam 2 stuff that they're doing at this big event, so my video for that should post in the next day or so. As long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you should see that video when I post it, and I'll name a giveaway winner when I post that video. While you wait for everything, click here for my other Justice League Snyder Cut teaser video, and click here for my brand new Black Adam movie video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.